attack on our unsuspecting ships. Most of us were just kids, trying to do our patriotic duty without any idea of how devastating, deadly, and dastardly the war really would turn out to be. But we were finding out fast. I grabbed my helmet and pushed it down tight. Machine gun fire had opened up somewhere out there. Maybe it wasn't aimed my way. Maybe it was. I ducked. "Major!" a voice yelled from out of the dense tropical forest. "Major Shaw! Need a medic! Got a man down!" I started crawling across the open space toward the bushes. Gunfire sent me rolling over on my back. "Medic!" I hollered. "Somebody get me a medic!" "I'm one!" a soldier hollered back from somewhere in the thick jungle bush. "Get the hell over there in the trees, north of you. Got a soldier down." "Yes, sir. I'm on my way." An explosion made the ground shake again. Scare me? Are you kidding? Frightened me to death. But by the time we landed on Leyte and settled into the bloody conflict, I already expected to be terrified when I went to sleep at night and to wake up mortified in the morning. Just the nature of war. My outfit, the 361st Field Artillery Battalion, could pump 105mm howitzer shells at high and low angles so fast that the Japanese thought we had automatic weapons. The cannon had a good compromise between range and destructive power. A single caliber simplified logistics. Most of the time, we were no more than 1,000 yards behind the infantry, firing over them like crazy. The battles raged with a ferocity that could leave you deaf or delirious. Sometimes we called them Japanese, but mostly we labeled them Imperial forces, enemy, and a couple hundred obscenities. By the time we landed on Leyte, we knew the enemy's tactics well enough. They lived off the land. The war roared on somewhere far on the other side of grotesque and obscene. Most of the enemy troops didn't survive. Their live troops were so scarce that our higher-ups offered a bottle of whiskey for any Japanese soldiers brought in alive. The few that were found usually looked like a truck had run over them several times. The abrupt roar of a Japanese fighter plane caused me to hit the foxhole again. Rapid machine gun fire sent everybody plunging back into the ditches. Some of the men stood up and fired rifles as well as machine guns at the airplane circling overhead. Once again, the acid smell of gun smoke filled my nose. A captain named William Carpenter jumped in my foxhole. "Major Shaw, the report that we got says that the Japanese Navy is going to circle the island with their big guns aimed right at us. If they get through and open up, we could all be hamburger. Get the picture?" I nodded. "What are we up against?" The captain's voice lowered. "We think there's at least 25,000 Japanese in the area, with 175 fighter planes and 30 bombers. If they get their navy turned around the tip of the island, we're looking at big trouble." "I got the picture." "We've got several other batteries firing heavy artillery at them. I understand that Admiral Halsey is deeply concerned." The captain peeked over the top. "I know one of our fighters was shot down, the pilot killed." He shook his head, jumped out, and took off running back into the trees. "Keep firing." I took a deep breath. "Okay, men," I shrieked. "Get back to firing the big guns. Make this battery spit fire." Men crawled out from under cover and assumed their positions to fire the 105mm shells at the Japanese. The roar of the cannons again shook the ground. "Come on, boys," I shouted, when the first wave of firing paused. "Let's blow those enemy guns off the map." The artillery started up again with a roar that could leave a man deaf. The war was back on. When morning broke, intelligence told us that we had turned the forest in front of us into toothpicks. They weren't sure, but the enemy appeared to be in retreat. The scuttlebutt said they were getting pushed off the island. No one knew for sure. A colonel came by. "Looks like the Japanese really are running. We are aiming our artillery down the island to focus entirely on their ships. If we can break the back of their navy, this war could be close to finishing. Our boys got to keep hitting them hard."